All right, can you hear me? Okay. Apparently, we are live now. But now I gotta move. Hold on, I gotta mute. Oh, I don't have to mute this because it's already fucking muted. All right. Let me get, because now I'm just fucking annoyed. Ugh. All right. Phil, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's real laggy though. I think it's because the video.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yep.
And the video's maybe it's because I'm. Oh my god, this is so ignorant, dude. I don't know what the fuck is. I don't know what's wrong
with you. Just mute the video. Just scrap the video.
All right, hold on a sec. Let me click over this.
Your sound will come through clear.
Turn camera off. Shit is beyond ignorant. All right, hold on a sec. No?
Lagging. Hold on.
Dude, this shit is fucked.
No, now I can hear you good. You good.
You can hear me now?
Yeah. Just keep your video off on your phone.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on. You can hear me though, right?
Yeah, you're good.
Whatever. It's gonna be a fucking podcast now. This shit is gay. Anyway, sorry, Shaq. Okay, so now let's catch back up. That we've done this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send the Grish. I don't know where people couldn't hear. I don't know where that went awry. So I want to go back to Grish taking Crazy Legs at 1. Do you think that that's the play? Or do you think that this might be a bit of a stretch?
I've only ever played with Crazy Legs once or twice. So I haven't.
The play? Or do you... Oh, sorry.
Nope. Yeah, I've only ever seen Crazy Legs play once or twice. So, I don't have a whole lot of experience to go on with him. But I mean, if Grish is comfortable with the pick, if he's a guy that he can count on to be, a top scorer in this league, and that's what you have to be if you're picking him number 1 overall, then, go for it. But we'll see what happens. I mean, there's a lot of talent in this league that's established. And, we'll see whether Crazy Legs can live up to that.
Now, moving on to what I said the next pick was pick number 2. And what I was touching on was surprise me and how he's kind of viewed as this guy who can only win when he's with his boys. And that's been proven by, his statistical output last year. The first time he wasn't with his homies, he had a fucking miserable season. So the question becomes, can this guy carry? Is he the real deal? Is he a guy that you should be drafting within the top 5 picks? His numbers would say yes, but his production outside of that pick would say no. So I pose the question now of, is this guy the real deal? But here's the problem. He's going to be picked back up by his buddy, Pogs, where he's had all of his success. So I think that question still remains. I think that he still is going to kind of be in the system that he's comfortable with. So it surprised me the obvious pick at 2. And then what do you think about everything that I brought to the table at that point about surprise me and his ability to actually carry an offense?
Well, yeah, I think surprise me is the obvious pick at 2. I think him and Pogs work really well together. And as for the rest, I mean, I guess my answer is it doesn't matter because Pogs and Surprise Me know that they work together, and that's it's gonna be this year, or this season. So, I mean, listen, whether Surprise Me can work with other guys or not, who knows? That's still a question, obviously, but it doesn't matter for this draft for season number 9.
I just, I'm interested because that's how you're trying to understand wealth and understand value and understand who the truly great players are. When I think about where he's drafted every year, and this isn't a slight on surprise me, this is just a realistic fact. When I look at where he's drafted every year, he's drafted in the same number as a D-Mart, or he's drafted up there with the names of like Sea-Doo and Drug Monkey, and these are elite talents year in and year out at their appropriate position. So I am just curious to see, I want to see him in back-to-back seasons, not with his boys, but that's not going to happen this season, so I guess I'll let it go. Next up was supposed to be I Soldier Up, but I Soldier Up, due to signups, things like that, he's dropped out, and everybody in the draft has now gone up one pick. So Joey Stopa will now be picking at number 3, and you had him down with Belial. I actually do not hate that pick. I think it's a good pick. This is what I was saying before I got cut off. But Sea-Doo at this spot probably makes the most sense. If she doesn't make it through here, she'll definitely go to Marty McFly in the next pick. But what do you think about Joey Stopa taking the back end D rather than going with a forward? Or is Belial the play? Obviously, it's your mock, so you think Belial's the play. And now King Rome has become available at number 4, although rumor tells me he does not want to play center this year. He is converted to the wing. So what do you think about Joey's pick here at 3?
So a couple things. King Rome I had as DJ's pick, more of because of the relationship between him and DJ. They went pretty far in the playoffs a couple seasons ago together. And DJ kind of's got that man crush thing going on with King Rome. I thought that was a little bit of a stretch there. Not that King Rome's a bad player. I think he's still a first round caliber player. I'm just not sure that he's a top 3 overall pick in the draft. But I had him going there because that's DJ's boy, that's his ace, that's his guy. So moving on from that, kind of in the same vein, Belial is kind of Joe Stopa's guy. He's another guy. He's a first-round talent center. The guy has been on some bad teams, but he's remained really productive in this league. And I think Joe Stopa's got a chance to get him. As for whether he would grab a D or not, I could see him grabbing a D. I mean, there's obvious defensemen available for him to pick from. You've got Drug Monkey, you've got Sea-Doo. I think that Joe Stopa more reliably needs a top center player that he's familiar with, that he can work with, because center controls everything. They control the defense, they control the offense, and Joe Stopa really needs that number 1 guy on forward with him.
And I don't disagree with that. And like I said, I don't know if Joey Stopa has taken the step, and I haven't seen a lot of people play in this season, so it makes sense here. But it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I think Belial or King Rome might even be the pick. But again, like I said, Rome is trying to transition himself over to the wing. So it'll be interesting to see. Marty McFly, I think this is the only lock of the draft. Sea-Doo at 5 if she's there. She seems to always get taken like right in this 5-6 spot. It's fairly consistent, 5, 6, 7, with Drug being right in that realm. I think it becomes preference. And when you look at Drug is more that stay-at-home D. I think Chelsea gives you a little bit more offensively, although in this game, it's a lot harder to carry the zone as a D and things like that. It's a more trap-based game, so I think there's some definite differences that some of the D-men, the elite D-men, were able to do last game, but no longer can do. So I guess let me pose the question this way, because you got a pair of D-men going back-to-back. Obviously, you have Chelsea over Drug. What's your reasoning for that? Is it just the captain's drafting, or is it the skill sets themselves?
Yeah, I mean, it's got to do with the captain's drafting. I think Marty McFly has familiarity with Sea-Doo. He obviously had her on Hut Heroes. Now, I'm going to throw out another name that I really could see going here. I didn't put it in my mock because I wasn't sure whether Marty would go in that direction, but I could really see it happening, and that's our current Norris winner. I think he could pick up C-Dub 21 in this position too. It may be a little early for that, but C-Dub's a very versatile player. He can play left wing, he can play center, he can play left D. He has more versatility than Sea-Doo and Drug Monkey do on right D, and I think he plays a more valuable position. Right D is a pretty stacked position in our league compared to left D, and I think that same familiarity factor is there as well. I could see Marty McFly going off the board a little bit and picking C-Dub in that spot.
And I do believe, if I remember correctly, they do have a little bit of familiarity with one another, whether or not be league, but just playing together in general. So,
Well, he was also on that Hut Heroes team. He was Chelsea's D partner on that team.
so yeah, there's some. Okay, that's right. So there is some familiarity there. I think C Dub has taken his game to the next level as well. So again, I don't hate the pick at all. I think that between Marty and Joey Stope, can't go wrong here. I can tell you if Belial's there for Schwartz at 6, I think that's a lock. I just don't see that happening. So Schwartz goes with the safe pick. I mean, here's the thing: if you're picking a guy in the top 6, you can't miss. You can't miss in the top 6. Whoever you take in that spot, if you end up missing, you're screwed. Like your season's over. You cannot miss in the top 6. And I think that realistically, with this pick here at 6, I think that Drug is a safe spot for Schwartz. You see him taking somebody else. I know this is your mock, but some of the things have changed now. So what do you think here at 6?
Yeah, I mean, Drug would be a pretty safe pick for him here. Schwartz is primarily a right wing. He can play some center, but I think he's going to be left with a top tier defenseman in the spot, and not really a top tier forward like a Surprise Me or a Crazy Legs supposedly is. So I think that he's likely to take a defenseman, but I mean, listen, maybe he falls in love with some center that's out there. Maybe Belial drops. Maybe he really likes how King Rome plays, and he goes in that direction. But I think in the top 6, with the way that I have it laid out, I think Drug Monkey or Sea-Doo would be the right pick in this spot.
So I have to ask you the question then about number 7, because it's ability. So per your mock, do you really think ability traded up to get Notorious Figo? Is that the play?
I think he could have. So as he stood before he traded up, he was behind Brick City, who I think all of us can agree that if Brick City is sitting there in the first round and Notorious Figo is on the board, he's likely going to take him. And ability has the he's got the chemistry. He's got the familiarity with Notorious Figo. That's a big theme with my mock. I didn't really entirely base it just on skill. That's a big part of it. Obviously, it's a mock, it's a draft, and you want to take the best player available to you. But also, every captain has their guys that they prefer playing with, and abilities won a belt with Figo. He's a main part of that team on Victoria's Secret. And I think that he could see Figo as a top offensive player that would only be available if he traded up.
And again, I'm not hating on the pick. I'm curious if that was the move. Was the move to up ahead of Brick to get Figo? Now, I can tell you right now, I don't move up into think that he would do something like that. I think his pick is his pick, and that's just how he is. So again, this isn't a slight on ability, but like the caliber of Brick City compared to the caliber of like ability, like is obviously a lot different. So I don't think that Brick has to move up. Again, when you're looking at it, I think ability's safe if he wants Figo there. I think Figo's there at 7. Moving to number 8, BTW taking his brother Annex Crispy here. That's the play, right? That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think so. Crispy had a monster year playing left wing with Regretsky's and Holtby last season. He put up like 100+ points and, was Calder winner. He gets to move back into his natural spot of right wing. He's a right wing primarily, not a left wing. So BTW gets to put him on the opposite wing with him. I think that's my lock of the draft. That's my no-brainer.
Yeah, and again, like I said, it's not to shadow over these guys. I just think that Crispy's the pick here. I think that Crispy will be available there, and I just think that it's the no-brainer pick of the draft right there. Of Crazy Legs, because Chris has basically said it's Crazy Legs at 1. So other than that, it's basically a no-brainer. Moving along, Brick City here, and this is a team that I'm really interested to see, and it's for a lot of reasons. But the main one being is that Brick has been in situations over the last couple seasons, very bad ones, to say the least. And he has been able to get himself onto contending teams. Well, let me tell you something now, Mr. Alex. When if your team is a dumpster fire, if your team is not playing well together, if your team is on the struggle bus, guess what? You go down with the ship captain. So I am extremely, I want to say interested. I am interested to
Your mic's like cutting in and out right now.
like the icon's attention in the UK. Can you hear me? That's what I'm talking.
Your mic's cutting in and out right now. Hold on.
Hold on.
Sometimes that happened to me on my old phone. You might have to like reload the Hangouts real quick. Just like exit and then rejoin.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, actually. Yeah.
For some reason, I keep getting kicked off my internet so that it's going on to data. That's what's happening. So it's weird. It's probably my internet. Good thing.
So that was throughout most of your Brick City rant. I didn't really hear anything. I don't think that the people at home heard that either.
I'm interested to see what happens if his team sucks ass. Like, in so many words, that's what I want to see, because you can't get out of it. You're the captain of the ship. If it goes down, it goes down. So I'm interested to see what the fuck happens if his team sucks. If his team's great, Brick, honestly, when you're going good, man, Brick is great to play with. But when you're going bad, dude, it is a nightmare. And he is known for lineup switches, and that will put a lot of pressure on guys on that team if they're not playing well. C-Dub here makes sense as the pick. I think he's very underrated. Is he a first-round guy at lefty? Yeah, I believe so. As a forward, he's probably a second, third-round talent. But I think if Brick takes him here, he knows he's got C-Dub at lefty. Brick obviously plays lefty well as well. So I think it's a good pick here. I think you pretty much nailed this spot. Care to touch on it a little bit?
Yeah, so you said it while you were saying that. Brick is one of those guys, he likes making a lot of lineup changes. He likes seeing who plays better where, or maybe against a certain opponent, wants to change up where people play. And C-Dub is a versatile player that can play multiple positions at a very high level. He's also a guy that he's very comfortable with. Brick City is. And C-Dub is with him as well. They know what to expect out of each other. I think if C-Dub is on the board, that's a good pick for Brick. It's a guy that he can move around in the way that he does when playing different people.
Well, that's going to be my team to watch this year. I'm going to be interested to see that. Moving along to my team, I can tell you right now I'm not taking Moose because he's not in the draft pool anymore. And the other thing I can tell you is I'm playing defense. So care to take a guess at who I take at 10?
So I had a mock, and then Cosmic and Ability made the trade, and I had to switch everything all around because I had Figo originally going to Brick, and then Ability jumped up, so I had to change stuff around. I originally had you taking Hockey Town 13 at this pick. I think he's a pretty prototypical center for you. He's a guy that, is going to value defense first. You can move him around if you find a center later in the draft. You can play him at right wing. I think Hockey Town would be a pretty safe pick and a pretty prototypical pick for you.
Putting Mr. Russ back with me. We had a little bit of success. I don't hate the pick. Have I developed this reputation for drafting two-way centers? Apparently,
two-way forwards in general. Yeah.
Maybe it's because I like the offense, right? So maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that. Icon doesn't talk about his own team until he's got the team that he's got. So I'm not giving any of you fuckers anything. Master Shotgun at 11, Tom FTW. They're homies. Believe Tom got into the league because of Shotgun, so this pick makes sense here.
Yeah, it's another one that I've got relationship wise. Like they know each other. Shotgun brought him into the league. He's a guy that is at that talent level that could definitely see him going there. He's a top 2A defensive forward that can put up a lot of points, and center's a really important position, and especially for a guy like Shotgun, who's probably going to be playing goalie this year, you really need that centerpiece on your team, and I think Tom FTW can be that.
Moving on to ability, second pick in round 1 now. Obviously, things have changed. What kind of player do you think ability is going to take here at 12?
So obviously, I have him taking a pretty elite forward at with his first pick. I could see him picking up another top talented forward again, or I could see him taking the best defenseman off the board. I'm trying to remember who I have him taking with his second pick right now.
You had him taking Hockey Town. Obviously, things have changed a little bit with Moose dropping out there.
Right.
Welcome to the web. Could he go and get himself an elite D here?
Maybe. Maybe he could go web. Maybe Rome falls this far. I could see that happening too.
Well, Rome won't fall past 10. I can promise you that much.
Okay, there you go. Everybody, you got your inside information on Daily.
Yeah, Rome won't fall past 10, but
yeah, welcome to the web. I haven't seen him play a whole lot of D. Obviously, he's been a center primarily in this league. He's played a little bit of right wing. I haven't really seen him play NHL 19 at all, so I have no idea what he looks like. Yeah, I could see that happening. Off the top of my head, I really can't think of who else I would have going there.
You think maybe like a Berkey, somebody like that could go here? Maybe B-Crips coming off the board here. Shoot therapy maybe?
B-Crips would be interesting. That would be pretty high for a goalie, especially to ability, who I think is primarily going to be playing goalie. But
No. Ability is making the forward move now. B-Crips there makes a ton of sense for ability.
Hey man, if ability's coming out of net, I think that picking the best goalie in the draft is a smart move. That's a lot of pressure to put on whoever you pick with that first pick, though, to carry an offense where the rest of your picks are third, fourth, and fifth rounders.
The problem with ability, I don't think the offensive dynamo that he needs. He's like, I know Figo's really good, but like I'm interested to see Figo by himself. I feel like if you're trading up into the top 7, like you need a Belial, you need a surprise me, you need a I don't know. Like I just feel like maybe it's not in this draft. Maybe those players are captaining this year. I could see ability taking Burks here. I think Burks is one of those guys who's a game-changing forward. He's very dynamic. He creates on his own. He's played with some really good players like D-Mart and things like that. I think that might be the play here. I know he's been out of it for a bit, but he's one of those guys who never really loses it, right? He's always competing. He's always solid. He's always up there. So be interesting to see. Last but not least, Gretzky's with the back-to-back. He seems to always be in the spot. It's a perfect spot for a player his caliber. He's getting Onisimov at 13. Welcome to the web at 14 is what you had. Webb makes sense here. Brian's definitely going to take a D, I think, unless like Webb's gone. I maybe he slides in around Don Volante here, but I could see two forwards for Brian doesn't make sense. I could see him taking a B-Crips here. I know that sounds crazy, but Brian's one of the people that could stretch on getting the best goalie here. The thing is I think that goalie definitely favors the game definitely favors goalies this season. I think goalie, I don't want to say it's easier to play because it's still shitty, but I think it is a lot better than years past. I think goalie movements are a lot better. So I think that goalies are an advantage. So I think that may be a stretch for somebody like Brian who could probably get a goalie in round 4 or 5 and be okay. But it'll be interesting to see. I think Webb's correct. I don't think Onisimov goes here. I think it could end up being a true therapy type player, maybe Holtby as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. What do you think about Brian's 2 picks here?
Yeah, I picked Anisimov because I mean that's obviously Brian's boy. They're buddies in real life. And he brought him into the league. And, as far as I know, Anisimov is the Brian's preference for, his favorite center that he likes playing with. He just really likes playing with the guy. Holtby is another guy that I could see going here, potentially. Maybe that preference has changed. But I really think that it's Anisimov, and it may be a stretch of a pick right there. But for Brian, he's able to stretch. And with his pick position, sometimes when you're picking those back-to-back picks, like you have to look at 20 picks ahead and who's going to be there. And if he doesn't think that his best centerman picks like Holtby or Anisimov are going to be there in round 3 and 4, at the end of round 3 and the beginning of round 4, then he's got to make that pick here. And even if it is a little bit of a stretch, I think there's that comfortability factor. As for Welcome to the Web, I think that's a typical Brian pick. I think it's an elite forward that is converting to D. He picked D-Mart last season. He's a guy that's worked with D-men that weren't necessarily proven in this league, but can move the puck fast and have good offensive skills, like Time to Get Steven and Rondon Vellante. So I could see Welcome to the Web there if he's available in that spot, and I think he will be. If he's not, then I could see him picking Rondon Vellante here as well.
Well, that's round 1 of the draft, man. We're going to do a little bit of a more in-depth look next week, Monday, October 8th. That is our draft date. The pre-draft show is at 9 o'clock Eastern. Do apologize today about the audio and visual and things like that. We had kind of a hiccup. But what I will say is that come Monday in that pre-draft show, we're not going to fuck with round 1, man. We're not going to do it. I think every year we do the same thing. We talk about round 1. We don't talk about some of the other stuff. We're going to talk about round 2 and round 3 and round 4 and sleepers and new guys and part-timers and things like that. So 9 o'clock Eastern next week, you want to be here. It is the season 9 draft show. We'll put the post up. We'll get some information up. But that's all I got today. Pale, you got anything on the way out, man?
No, that's all I got, man. I'm looking forward to Monday night. It's only the third season that I haven't been in the draft myself as a captain. So we're going to see where I end up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, boys. Well, hey, it's been another edition of the Thursday Throwdown. As always, I am the icon, the symbol, Mr. 239, the most polarizing man in 239 history. Your savior is back, and we'll have a better headset and camera and stuff like that next week. So until next time, it's been a Thursday Throwdown. We will catch you guys later.
Later.